February 9th, 2004. A black Saturn crashes on an empty corner of Route 112. By the time help arrives, no driver is to be found. No footprints, no cell phone ping, and no answers. This is the disappearance of Maura Murray, the vanishing point. Maura Murray was born on May 4, 1982, in Hanson, Massachusetts, to parents Fred and Laurie Murray. She was the fourth of 5 children in a close-knit Irish Catholic family. Her siblings included an older brother, Fred Jr., 2 older sisters, Kathleen and Julie, and a younger half-brother, Curtis. From a young age, Maura was known for her intelligence and athleticism. She excelled academically and was a standout on her high school track team, particularly in the 2-mile event. Her dedication and performance earned her recruitment to the prestigious United States Military Academy at West Point, where she began studying chemical engineering. At West Point, Maura continued to shine. She was not only academically successful, but also maintained her athletic pursuits. It was here that she met her boyfriend, Bill Rausch, a fellow cadet. Their relationship grew serious, and Maura became close with his family. Yet, the strict military environment began to weigh on her. Believing West Point wasn't the right path, she transferred to the University of Massachusetts Amherst in January 2002 to pursue nursing. At UMass, Maura quickly settled into her new role, making the Dean's List, working part-time as a security guard, and volunteering in healthcare settings. Friends remember her as disciplined but warm, always ready to help someone in need. Nonetheless, beneath this veneer of success, small cracks began to show. In November 2003, Maura was charged with using a stolen credit card to order food. She had retrieved numbers from discarded receipts, an impulsive mistake that was later dismissed after 3 months of good behavior. Though she paid the penalty quietly, those close to her sensed the stress of juggling academics, athletic commitments, and personal pressures. Then, on February 5, 2004, while working a late shift at the campus security desk, Maura received a phone call from her sister Kathleen, who was struggling with personal issues. Her supervisor found her sobbing and repeatedly whispering, "My sister," even though Kathleen hadn't called. This breakdown, just 4 days before her disappearance, would become one of the last clear glimpses into Maura's state of mind. It's Monday, February 9th, 2004. A routine winter day at UMass Amherst turns extraordinary. At 10 a.m., Maura Murray sits at her campus computer and sends an email to her professors and work supervisor. She claims a death in the family and says she'll be away for the week. There was no death. By 1 p.m., she's at an Amherst ATM, withdrawing $280 in cash, captured on surveillance as she stands alone at the machine. This is the last known image ever captured of Maura Murray, just hours before her disappearance. A few minutes later, Maura pulls into Liquors 44 on Russell Street. The state police receipt shows she pays for a bottle of Kahlua, a nip of Bailey's, a bottle of Smirnoff vodka, and a 12-pack of Smirnoff Ice, for a total of around $40. She leaves the store at 3:43 p.m., clutching her purchases and the crumpled receipt. Maura then makes a brief stop at the Hadley police station, picking up duplicate copies of accident report forms that were later found in her Saturn after her disappearance. With her trunk now packed, liquor, textbooks, toiletries, and that printed MapQuest route north, she drives away from Amherst around 4 p.m. She's headed to the White Mountains. But exactly why remains a mystery. Did she need time to think? Was there someone waiting for her? We don't know. At 7:27 p.m., Route 112's sharp curves claim her black 1996 Saturn. A Woodsville resident, Butch Atwood, hears the crash and discovers the car nose first in a snowbank. He sees a young woman pacing nearby. She tells him, "I've already called AA." Though no cell service exists here, Atwood drives away to call 911 at 7:42 p.m. By 7:46 p.m., Officer Cecil Smith arrives, the engines still ticking. Inside, a spilled wine box, her belongings neatly stowed, and a cracked windshield. Outside, 0 footprints in the fresh snow. Maura Murray is nowhere to be found. In the cold New Hampshire night, all that's left is a locked car and more questions than answers. Right after that February 9th crash, local New Hampshire police and volunteers swarmed Route 112, but came up empty-handed. Within hours, Fish and Game officers and K9 teams traced Maura's scent about 100 yards east of the Saturn. Then it vanished. Initially, state troopers treated Maura's disappearance as a voluntary runaway. But her father, Fred Murray, blasted that theory. He believed foul play was at work and pushed for reinforcements. By early 2005, the New Hampshire State Police formally took over the case from local authorities, vowing a more comprehensive investigation. Over the next few years, investigators deployed helicopters, sonar-equipped boats on nearby rivers, and cadaver dogs. They knocked on every door near the crash site, interviewed hundreds of locals, and rechecked phone records. Still no trace of Maura. In November 2017, blood tests on wood chips from a property near the crash site came back positive for human blood. The state police reopened the case, calling it a fresh look at old evidence. Around the same time, the FBI created a Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, VICAP profile for Maura, sharing her details nationwide to spot patterns in similar cases. As the case stayed in the headlines, online sleuths and news outlets weighed in, some debunking myths, others unearthing new tips. Yet, every lead seemed to fizzle out at dead ends. In early 2024, the New Hampshire Cold Case Unit released an FBI age-progressed photo showing how Maura might look at 41 to spark fresh tips. And Maura's sister Julie launched the podcast Media Pressure, interviewing investigators and family to keep the story alive. So, 20 years on, the investigation has spanned local cops, state troopers, federal agents, and citizen journalists alike, yet Maura's fate remains unknown. Over the past 20 years, Maura Murray's sudden disappearance has spawned nearly a dozen leading theories, each trying to explain what happened on that snowy New Hampshire road. Theory 1. Voluntary disappearance. Some believe Maura planned this escape from the start. Maybe to dodge her looming credit card case or start fresh. Proponents point to her packed belongings, extra cash, and the fabricated family emergency. Yet her sister Julie insists Maura wouldn't abandon her family without a word. Theory 2. Accidental exposure. Another idea is that Maura fled the car, wandered into the woods, and succumbed to freezing temperatures. But search dogs lost her scent after 100 yards, and no tracks were ever found. Theory 3. Foul play, abduction. Many argue the most likely scenario is Maura accepted help from the wrong person. A neighbour's testimony and the rag found in her tailpipe add to the mystery. In 2017, wood chip blood tests hinted at possible violence near a nearby home. Theory 4. Hit and run cover-up. Some online sleuths suggest Maura hit someone with her car and panicked, then staged her disappearance. There's no evidence of another vehicle or victim, but the idea persists in forums. Theory 5. New identity in Canada. A fringe theory holds that Maura was whisked across the border and now lives under a new name. Despite no credible sightings, this Canadian escape lives on in online groups. Each theory has passionate advocates and skeptics, yet none solve the case definitively. The mystery remains open, inviting new tips every winter and fresh podcast investigations by Julie Murray.